Okay. Om. Om.
Om.
Sadashiv Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. And we'll before of any of my Gita session, as I said that the second shlok of the seventh shlok of second chapter. That's Arjun's prayer, and the entire Bhagavad Gita is answer to that one prayer. So that should be our prayer too, because we are expecting Bhagavan to pass on the same knowledge through the book. So that's I always say with any of my Bhagavad Gita session. So it's the seventh shlok of second chapter. You can open and read if you have the book, or if you have memorized, you can close the eye and think that Bhagavan is standing in front of us. We are like Arjun. Bhagavan, just guide me. So is the seventh shloka of second chapter. Karpanya dosho upahat swabhavah prachami tvam dharma sammud chetah yat shreyasyat nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. So Arjun is saying that Bhagavan, I am deluded. I am confused about my swadharma. Dharma sammud cheta, when he says, whenever we read dharma in Bhagavad Gita, it is swadharma. So he says, I am deluded about my swadharma. I surrender to you as a shishya. Guide me towards the shreyas. And we always, shreyas means which is good for all. Prayers which is good for me. So Arjun's prayer is very profound, very smart student, that I want to know through my karma how can I achieve shreyas, which is good for all. So that's Arjun's prayer. So now we completed last time third chapter. Very quickly recap. First chapter is Arjun Vishad Yoga, means Arjun's despondency or Arjun's delusion or confusion. Vishad means confusion, depression, despondency, all those. And then we saw first chapter, Arjun said, I am kind of not able to hold to myself. It's a nervousness or depression. Second chapter, we saw Bhagavan started telling Arjun, Bhagavan is a good teacher, and he realized that the problem is here is Arjun it's not that Arjun doesn't know how to fight, or Arjun is a great warrior, and he is knowledgeable also. And that happens to most of us. When the situation comes, I'm not able to recollect all that knowledge which I have. And the simple example is always the anger, growth. We all know that anger is not good, and most of us, and maybe some, if not, then good, but most of us, we regret and repent. Oh, why did I say that? Why did I get angry? And I know that is bad. So that knowledge is available to me that anger is not good. It harms myself, but we still do that. And that's what Arjun's problem was. Like he knew everything, and that is called confusion or agyan in Shastra. So second chapter, first thing Bhagavan, second chapter is called Gyan Yoga or Sankhya, but it is Gyan Yoga. And in the second chapter, Bhagavan told Arjun, because he is forgetting his identity, and by default, our Shastra says you are born divine, pure. That means your adequate self. You don't miss anything. But as we grow, we have desires and we feel, oh, I miss something, I miss something. And that's what the ignorance is. So first thing Bhagavan told in second chapter, which is Atma Gyan, just not Gyan, that you are that Atma, not the body. So we saw that second chapter is all, but in the middle of second chapter, Bhagavan talked about karma also, a little bit. Then third chapter is Karma Yoga, which we covered last time. So in the beginning of the chapters, Arjun is asking, when Gyan is good, I mean, if I can do self-realization, then why are you putting me again into this karma? And ghor karma, the word he used, ghor, means the terrible. Yuddha is a terrible karma. And he's saying, if I can achieve Gyan, or I can sit in the Himalaya. So that was Arjun's confusion again. He says, I'm not sure. Can you? So that's where in the third chapter started. In third chapter, Bhagwan described, and Bhagwan says, the entire Bhagavad Gita teaching, in fact, entire our teaching is there are two things only, karma and Gyan. That's it. You do Gyan, you have Gyan, and you do karma. And that's what Bhagavad Gita. So second and third chapter are the foundational chapter of Bhagavad Gita. All rest of it is built on these two chapters. If we don't comprehend these two chapters, then rest of the chapters we can read, but we will not. We have to connect what Bhagwan was saying. So the fundamental and Gyan is your adequate self. You don't miss anything. Only you have forgotten that you are not. You are that adequate. You are Purna. That is Gyan. And the Karma is, Bhagwan says, nobody can live without Karma. So Karma, and that's why we did 14th chapter. And the Karma happens because of the Sattva Gun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. We do a Karma. And that good forces us to do the Karma. So Bhagwan says Karma is inevitable. So now I'll explain you what Karma is. So third chapter, Bhagwan initiated that. Fourth and fifth chapter are extension of third chapter, which is the extension of Karma. And people call it Karma Yoga. But Bhagwan is explaining Karma, and the attitude of doing the Karma with the help of knowledge, Gyan, awareness, is Karma Yoga. A lot of the Karma Yoga is a very popular term. People say, oh, I am a Karma Yogi. You don't become Karma Yogi. The aptitude changes or attitude changes, and then you become Karma Yogi. So Karma is, so third chapter was, so we'll continue on the fourth chapter with extension of Karma. And that becomes Karma Yoga. We'll see how it becomes Karma Yoga. So it is, we are on the fourth chapter. So let's open the first slok, and Bhagavan is continuing from the third chapter where he is still explaining the karma. So the first slok of fourth chapter, Bhagavan is saying, fourth, you can open your book. अथ चतुर्थो अध्यायः श्री भगवान उवाच इमं विवस्वते योगं प्रोक्तवानम् अहम् अव्ययम् विवस्वानं मनवे प्राह इक्ष्वाके अब्रवीत. And Bhagavan is saying, I told this knowledge which I am giving to you to son God, son Bhagavan, and son told to his son Manu, and Manu told to Ikshvaku. He is taking the lineage. Now Arjun is saying that Arjun got the question in his mind, which he's going to ask. We will not read that slok, but so Bhagavan is saying this knowledge is very ancient, and I'm telling you now. So ancient means what? All our teaching, and Bhagavad Gita is also, it is in the book form now, but original teaching is coming from Ved. An extract Vyasji has put in Mahabharata. So all our teaching and simple. So teaching doesn't change. It is the presentation and the context changes. And so Bhagavad Gita, everything, whatever we are reading here is very ancient. It is coming from Vedic knowledge or Rishis. Ved also combined later. Originally it is Shruti Parampara. They'll meditate, the thought comes to their mind, they'll share with their students. So Shruti Parampara. And they'll share. So Shruti means by hearing. So all our, and I give very quick example and move forward. Why all our teaching is ancient? Gayatri Mantra. Just simple example. Gayatri Mantra is from the Ved, and it is before the Ved. Ved were compiled later. Gayatri Mantra was there like millions of years ago, whatever Rishi Vishwamitra came up with. Now look at that, and you can do that experiment. I had done that. Lot of kids in America who are sixth generation, fourth generation, born, raised here, your grandchildren, you just sit with them, a 2-3 year old kid, and just practice Gayatri Mantra for a week, they'll get it. They'll recite it. That's the beauty. 24 syllables. Vishwamitra Rishi, he got 24 syllables thousands of years ago. So nicely, the phonetic sequence, the messaging is so, you can't even, don't want to change the message also. It is so profound and done one time. And so it is ancient. That's a Puran. It never loses its power, its potency, its beauty. Gayatri Mantra, when we chant Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na prachodayat. Same phonetic sequence, same power for thousands of years, whether it is America or South Africa, wherever Hindus are, even non-Hindus chant Gayatri Mantra. It's so powerful. And that's what Bhagavan is saying. What I am teaching you in Bhagavad Gita, it is nothing new. It is very ancient knowledge, Arjun. And then he says, because of the time, people forget. So we have to keep doing it again and again. So with that, Arjun asked a question in the in the in the yeah, this is the fourth slok, and his question is that, oh, well, you said you told it to Ikshvaku and all, but you are telling it to me also. So how come you are now and you are saying you told? And that's where the whole famous slok. And Bhagavan says that, Arjun, you don't remember your birth, but I remember my birth. And Arjun says, then why? What do you mean by your birth? You come again and again? And Bhagavan says, yes. But the only difference, because you are born as a human being, as a body, so you don't remember your birth, and I am not born as a human being. And that's where the whole we'll read the shlok number 7. And Arjuna is worried, then why are you born? So that's very famous shlok, 7th shlok. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvhavati bharat abhutyanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. So Arjuna says, then why are you born? And he says, yes, I am born whenever there is a glani of dharma, when the dharma is declining. And abhyuthanam adharmasya, and adharma is rising. So tadatmanam srijamyaham. That time I create myself. So there is a difference. So here is the concept of avatar. Very famous these days. There are a lot of avatar, whole series of movies there. In fact, James Cameron, who's the director of Avatar series, in his interview, he has very clearly said, he said, I was influenced by, I used to read like Indian or Hindu comics, and the imagery or iconography of Hindu comics or Hindu books. Maybe he must have read Amar Chitra Katha or something. I was so impressed by that blue color and the way this something is being descending. Avatar word means something descending. Avtaran. We are born. Avatar is Avtaran. So we say Krishna Janma, but it is Krishna Avtaran, Krishna Janma. So biologically we have to say. So there is a difference, because we take birth because of the karma. We have done some past karma, we have to pay back. That's why we are born as human being. That's why we suffer. We all suffer. I mean, human being is suffering, some or other kind of. We all, and that suffering is nothing but we are paying back our previous karma. Somebody can live 100 years happy life. Somebody can get a sickness at the age of 10. We see kids get cancer. There are parents who are taking care of kids who have autism. Who decides that? So our Rishis have said this is all law of karma. You are born with that suffering, you have to pay back. But avatar is a difference. Bhagwan is not a human like us, biological. Bhagwan comes for a reason. We don't come for a reason. We have no reason. That's the reason we do this spiritual study. This is find the reason. At least you are born, and Tulsidaji says, "Bade bhagya manush tan pawa." You're lucky that you got the human body. Just make use of it and get the moksha. This is not swarg, but enjoy the life. Be meaningful. Animals cannot do that. And that's what, so Bhagavan says, you still had a chance. But anyway, I come. And the next slok he says, then I come, but for what? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. And he says, for the protection of sadhus. Now, sadhu means dharmi. The one who practice dharmi is sadhu, means the straightforward. Sadhu word has Sanskrit word means is a straightforward person, a simple living being. That is sadhu. Vinashaya cha dushkritam. For the punishment to dushkritam, rakshas. That's what Bhagavan Krishna was born, Kans or Duryodhan or Dushasana, whatever rakshas. Bhagavan Ram was born for Ravan, and Durga ji come for that Rakta Bij. All those, that avtaran happens to help the people who are shisht. Shisht means the sadhu people or the simple people or normal human being, and ashisht means rakshas. So to punish the ashisht and to help the shisht people. That's the purpose. That's what the shlok is. Dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. And I come down. Now this question is asked a lot of times. This shlok people read, and so now why Bhagwan is not coming now? There's so much problem. And Bhagwan says that how do you know that is so much problem? I mean, when I came, same time Ravan was there, Ravan doing all those things which is happening these days, right? Even worse than that. So Kans was there, Kans was doing. So it is not this is worst. If whenever there is a need, Bhagwan will think, or Bhagwan says, I am in the form of teaching also. You do something too. It is not always I am coming and doing. But the teaching is available. So, but I come for that reason, or my teaching, in the sense we can say, for helping the sadhus. So that's the reason when we read Bhagavad Gita, when we have some knowledge. In fact, when we go to 16th chapter, one of the qualities a spiritual person should have, the first quality, in 16th chapter, we'll read that, abhayam, fearlessness. Most of us have fear of insecurity. I'm always feeling insecure. If I go out, my finance or my body or my sickness, and the Bhagavad says, first quality of this spiritual person is there's no fear. Yeah, whatever is going to happen, going to happen. It's all Bhagwan's marji. And so we have a lot of bhakt like that, right? We have a lot of stories. So Bhagavan says, that's why I come, to help sadhus. But we should have sadhu, right? If we are not sadhu, then Bhagavan can't do much. And that's the whole concept of avatar, the principle of which is used in Avatar movie. And James Cameron has already said that, yeah, I was very influenced by that Hindu thought of this avatar. So I got little idea from that. That's why his characters are blue too, Vishnu. So, so it is like that difference between the avatar and us. A Shishya asked his Guruji that what is the difference between, he's also a human being, Krishna is dancing and Krishna is playing and Bhagavan Ram is even crying if Sita ji is missing. Then what is the difference? So avatar means they have full control over their senses. They will do whenever they want it, but we don't have control. I mean, I don't have control over my senses, my emotions. I can get angry in a minute, I can cry in a minute, I may make mistakes. So that's the difference. Because they have sense control, we don't have. We are under the control of senses. A very quick story, and then we'll move forward. So the Guruji is explaining to Shishya what is the difference between avatar and us, human being. So there was a thief going, and there were 5 policemen surrounded the thief. And thief in the middle walking, and 5 policemen were surrounded him. And they were walking. He said, look at that. What is happening here? He said, there is a guy, he has 5 policemen around him. Okay. And then the next procession came, something, and the same, there was one person in the center, and there are 5 more police guys around him. And this man is walking with like open chest. He said, you know, what is the difference here? He said, no, same thing, 5 men. There is a difference. First one was a thief. So the police was there to control the thief. The second one is the prime minister or president. Now this person controls these policemen. They are under his control. Whereas the thief is under the control of policemen. Exactly the same. So we human beings are under the control of our senses and emotions, whereas Bhagwan has control over senses and emotions. That's the difference. And that's the reason we worship Bhagwan in human form, because we know that I want to be like you. And all our sadhana is like, that's what we say. The end of our teaching is Tattvamasi, you are that. You are that divine. That's all sadhana. So anyway, so now Avatar Bhagwan told in the 4th chapter. Then again, we'll move to the 16th shlok, because this chapter is again extension of karma. So there is a very, very famous terminology which we use in all our teachings. There is a karma. There's a principle of karma. We say law of karma. But I say principle is better than law. So law of karma has karma means action, karta, the doer, the person who is doing the action, and karma phal, the result. Those are 3 things. That's it. Karma, action, karta, the doer, and karma phal. And that's what this chapter talks about. So 16 shlok, Bhagavan tells Arjun, 16 shlok of 4th chapter. Kim karma kirm karme karmeti kavayo api atra mohitaha Tatte karma pravakshami yagyatva mokshase ashubhat. And Bhagavan is saying, I'll tell you what is karma, what is akarma. The karma is action, akarma is actionless. And Bhagavan says this is a very, very even the kavi means the scholars, even scholars struggle to figure out what is akarma. Karma is very easy to understand, something is happening, but they go together, karma and akarma. And this is this chapter, fourth chapter, karma is very well explained in Bhagavad Gita. I have not seen any other book has explained this well, which Bhagavan has done in this chapter. We have limited time, so we are just touching the highlights. But in other session, we can spend the entire hour or maybe couple of hours on this one shlok. It is that profound. But anyway, we'll get the gist, and you can read on your free time whenever. So 16, 17, 18, 19. 4 shlok are there where Bhagavan is talking about the karma. But let's see what Bhagavan is saying here. So he's saying karma and akarma. Karma is very easy to understand. There is something happening. But then Bhagavan is saying there is a akarma also, actionlessness. So this karma yogi understands the difference between this and this is happening together. And we always, so it is, the example is given, the second chapter we have to go back to. Our nature is, there is a shlok, it's in second chapter, right? Nityo, Nitya Sarvagata Sthanu Achalo Ayam Sanatan. I am that Atma, which is in modern term, we call it consciousness or awareness, which is a Sakshi Chaitanya in Shastric term. But in the term, like the normal language, it is called witness consciousness. Sakshi Chaitanya, witness consciousness. And that witness consciousness is unmoving or unchanging. It doesn't, and everything taking place in the presence of witness consciousness. And for example, here, sun comes out and a whole vegetation and even the living being, everyone is surviving because of sun's presence. But sun is not directly taking part in any of this. Sun is not going and doing photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is taking place in the plant, in the presence of sun. Same thing in our body. If sun is there, we will die, right? We know that. And sun is not coming and doing something in our body. Sun is just providing the energy and things up. So sun is, in this sense, just the Sakshi Chaitanya. Same thing our Atma, which is in all of us. Because of Atma, our senses are functioning, our mind is thinking. Mind is also material, not Atma. Atma is only just that consciousness principle. Rest everything, body, our senses, our thoughts, everything is material. But because of the presence of that Atma, we are able to do that. So there is no action happens in the Sakshi or consciousness. Consciousness is actionless. But in the actionless, all the actions are happening. That's what Bhagavan is saying. That is karma and akarma. So consciousness doesn't do anything. Like electricity, for example, another example. Electricity flows through refrigerator and it becomes cooler. Electricity, because of the electricity, the refrigerator gives the cooling. Electricity flows through the heater and there is a heat producing. Electricity has no nature of hot and cold. It is the instrument which is hot and cold. Electricity has just like Sakshi Chaitan. So no action taking place in the consciousness. So whatever karma we are doing, we are doing because there is an actionless consciousness sitting within us. So Bhagavan is saying that, and that is the karma yoga principle. I mean, we can go a lot of detail, but very in simple terms, Bhagavan is saying that once you realize, and that happens when we do all the sadhana, Shravanam, our like typical Hindu or Sanatan Dharma tradition is Shravanam is listen to the Acharya, listen to, maybe reading is also Shravanam, listen to your teacher or read something. Then Mananam, Shravanam is hearing. Mananam, this means you regurgitate the teaching, read again and again. If there's a question, ask. And Mananam means you have to keep thinking. And then nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam means dhyan, which we say assimilate the teaching. Last time we talked about. Otherwise, it is all accumulation. Accumulation and assimilation is different. Assimilation is the experience. If I eat some good things, if my gut health is not good, whatever amount of good fruit I eat or some, still I'll not be healthy. And go to doctor, they say, oh, there is a problem in your gut. If you have to fix, Ayurveda to say you have first thing fix the gut. Then only the fruit juice will help you. Otherwise, you won't get the energy. Those bad bacteria will take the energy. You won't get the energy. It's exactly the same thing. Unless the teaching becomes my understanding, awareness through dhyan, then only, oh, then I realize, oh, this is the Anand. This is what So Bhagavan is saying that the goal is once you realize that, then everything become a karma for you. Like me, he gave example here. You keep doing things, but as if you're not doing anything. And the moment I say that I am not doing anything, because karma, well, all human being, I said there is three things: karma, karta, doer, doership, not doer, and then karma phal. So most of us are doing karma for karma phal. And the principle says in this chapter and 14th chapter, we saw that, right? Rajogun, we saw that, right? That is a bandhan. We call it bandhan, a bondage. I am bound by the result. While doing the karma, something is making me nervous or excited. What is that result? That means I am bound by that. An example, or Dhyana Saraswati Swami used to say that when you take a dog for the walk, who's walking the dog? Dog is walking you or you are walking the dog? Ultimately, dog walks you. So it's like that. So karma phal drives us. Then we don't become, we are just, we are bound by that. But once you have that awareness that I am just the sakshi, like electricity, I don't participate in anything. But because of me, this gadgets are working, computer or cell phone, doesn't matter. Same thing, that sakshi chaitan, the consciousness which I'm not participating in anything. But the karma has to happen, like Bhagavan, Krishna, Ram, they do karma. And then the karma doesn't bind you. And that is the principle of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga has a lot of big book. If you read, there are thick book. That whole book talks about this only. That as long as you are doing karma with the karma phal in mind, you are bound. And the guarantee, our Shastra says, they say it's a guarantee that nobody knows what will be the outcome. You can all predict. Although we are corporate world, we do the chart and everything. And prediction, stock market will come, Dow Jones will become 15,000. It's all prediction. Oh, it becomes 4,000. Wow. Then again, there are heart attack people have. Or the whole 401k is gone into. In spite of everything, we cannot predict that tsunami is coming. We cannot predict that weather will destroy something. Country like America, we can make fun of India country. There's no country like America. You just the entire city is gone one night. Tornado. You can't. So you don't know. Bhagavan is saying. So why not you just enjoy that actionlessness, which is akarma, and keep doing the karma. Then it will not bind you, and you enjoy the karma. So we call in modern terms, like in the corporate world, remain in the medium. यात्रा का मजा लो, मंजिल को छोड़ो. It's like that. There is a saying. But we don't enjoy the journey because the manjil is in the mind. So that's a forget about the manjil. Just enjoy the journey. And that's what Bhagwan is saying. So the whole, there's a whole lot, but we have to cover in limited time. So I did that. So the principle here is that we are that actionless consciousness, and everything is happening within in my presence. And that happens through sadhana. We'll slowly realize that I am that Sakshi Chaitan, and that's a practice. When we go to sixth chapter next week, actually we'll practically do that, right? I have a lot of meditation sessions, but we'll do that. In sixth chapter, Bhagavan tells. And our mind typically, because we are conditioned to always look at this biggest weakness we all have this two. One is we have likes and dislikes, and we have opinions. The moment I see something, first thing I say, oh, I don't like this. Or it's a blue color. I like the red color. Oh, this is sweet. I don't like sweet. I like salt, salty snacks. Likes and dislike. And the second is we always make opinion. Oh, this is not good. This is bad. And that is Bhagavan is saying that is human nature. Rajogun. We saw 14th chapter. So we have to rise above Rajogun. Sattvagun means no like take things as it is. Oh, it is like this. Okay, I'll take this. And we have to rise above Sattvagun also. Means Gunatit means I don't like this guna, then don't drive me. I'm free. That is Sakshi basically. So just remain the observer. And there's a philosopher, Jiddu Krishnamurti. Some of you might have read him. Very, very complex talks he has. But the simple terms he says is that the observer is observed. That's the practice. If we get that practice by dhyan, we'll do the next. Bhagavan is saying the same thing to Arjun. And there is a term used in Bhagavad Gita, Nimitta Matram Bhava Savya Sachin. Very famous shloka. Bhagavan is telling Arjun, even if you are doing yuddha, just be the nimitt. I mean, even if you are shooting the arrow, don't think I'm shooting or killing someone, Duryodhana. Just, it's your swadharma. And then you will not bound by the results. And if you're not bound by the result, there is anand. Because otherwise, raga, dvesh, likes and dislikes, opinion, criticism, all human nature. And that's the sadhana. So we'll talk about it as we move forward. So now there is a famous slok, 24th, which is the, kind of summary of the entire Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga again. Karma Yoga means attitude. When the attitude changes with that awareness and you do the karma, it becomes Karma Yoga. There is no separate magic in Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means I am not affected by the result in simple terms. Result doesn't bind me. And then I'm enjoying the karma. It's like that. So that is a famous slok, which is very, very famous. We all say that. We call it Bhojan Mantra. I don't know why we call it Bhojan Mantra. It has nothing to do with Bhojan, but people call it right. 24th slok of 4th chapter. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavir Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmeva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. This is from the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. We say during the Bhojan Mantra, but it is not a Bhojan Mantra. For whatever reason, they thought this is the essence of Karma Yoga, this shlok. So look at this shlok. You can read it very detailed later on, but very simple. Bhagavan is saying here that arpan means when the spoon use, now it is giving Bhagavad Gita is full of metaphors. Bhagavan's examples are so practical. And of course, that time those things are used, but at the same time, yajna we do even now. So he's saying the ladle or the chammach we use for doing how, that is also Brahm. Everything is Brahm. So the principle of karma is that if I assume that everything is Brahman, all my thoughts, my actions, myself even. So he says, even that ladle or chammach we use, that is Brahma. Ghee I am using in that yajna. And he's giving the metaphor of yajna. That is also Brahma. Agni, which is I am putting in the ghee, and that is also yajna. The mantra I say, that is also yajna, Brahma. The doer, that is also Brahma. The process of yajna, that is also Brahma. Because Brahma Karma Samadhina. All your actions are established in Brahman. Brahman in the sense, in simple terms, we can say Satya. So if all my karma are based on the principle of truth, Satya, we call it Satya. That's why we given Bhagavan Satchid Anand. So, and Bhagavan says, then everything has become yajna. I'm sure they have used for Bhojan Mantra because Bhojan is also yajna for us. So they might have used, that's the reason, because I'm eating, the one what I'm eating is, the food is also Bhagavan. The one who is eating is also Bhagavan. The digestive power is also Bhagavan. They might have used this shlok. There is another shlok will come, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhuta, same from 15th chapter. But same they're using. So Bhagavan is saying, and the Gantavya is the destination. Destination is also Brahman. Brahman means Anand, Shanti, or Satya. They are same synonym, different. So Bhagavan is saying, once you get that understanding that everything is Brahman, the action I'm doing is Brahman. So So nothing belongs to me as that material human body. Our problem is body mind. Body mind means body mind intellect means this non-atma. So body mind intellect is anatma, which is, and one is atma, which is consciousness principle. So once Bhagavan says, if you understand everything is Bhagavan, then you won't be bound by the karma. And simple terms, if we this shlok is we read, but we just do the English translation. What simply Bhagavan is saying that surrender everything to Bhagavan. We sing a bhajan of Meera. राणा ने विष दिया मानो अमृत दिया मीरा सागर में सरिता समाने लगी दुख लाखों सहे मुख से गोविंद कहे मीरा गोविंद गोपाल गाने लगी मीरा takes poison and they tell Meera here is a prasad. They wanted to kill Meera and they said this is a prasad and they gave her poison. She said it is prasad, okay, I'll take it. And somebody said Meera it is poison. He said no, this they are saying Krishna prasad, and Meera never died. That's why this whole shloka Rana ne vish diya mano amrit diya. It became amrit for Meera because Brahma Karma Samadhina. She said, okay, that everything is Krishna. Prasad is Krishna. The one who is drinking is Krishna. That amrit, the poison become amrit because of that. So that is the culmination of Karma Yoga. So that's what I mean. We'll move forward. We cannot spend a lot of time on this. We have limited time. But yeah, this shlok is the culmination of karma. And our goal is to reach to this shlok. And you can read in the leisure time the shlok. There are a lot of descriptions given of the shlok, but the goal is here that everything is karma. The doer, karma is Brahman. The doer is Brahman. The upkaran, the instruments I am using, those are also Brahman. Everything. That's why, Hindus, sometimes people laugh. One reason our doing car puja is not, we don't understand car puja. We just, for fear we do car puja. Or nahi car li pandit ji ne bola puja ka. No. It is the respect for everything. Upkaran. That's what Bhagavan says. Arpan. Everything is divine for us. That's the reason we do animal puja in Bharat. Like we do the tree puja. We do every puja for everything. House opening ceremony. Hindus like the reason because everything is Brahman. Everything is Bhagavan. Why not to do puja? That's what this shlok says. And that is the culmination of Karma Yoga. If with that mindset, if I do karma, then the result will not bind me. And that's the problem Arjun has, because Arjun is thinking when we go for this war, either we will win, he said in one of the shlok, or they will win. We don't know who's going to win. Then why are Krishna, we are going for this war? And Krishna is saying, that's your problem. You are forgetting your swadharma. We are not doing this war for winning or losing. We are doing this war for dharma rakshan. So wherever dharma will be there, dharma will win. So you don't worry about that. If dharma is with you, you will win. But now you're focused on result, not dharma, swadharma. And that's what this karma yoga is about. Karma yoga means focusing on the karma, the aptitude, not the result or not the doer. Even the karta. We all become doer. Oh, I did it. That ego says, I did that. And we work all ourselves in society and mandir. And I deal everywhere. There are donors. Somebody says, oh, my name is not there. Like we have fight in the mandir. My name, I gave so much money. It's mandir. It's the donation. But it's me. That's a problem. And that's what Bhagavan is saying, that I is a problem. So once you surrender everything, you're free. So that's the reason this shlok is used a lot. And then we just move forward. What is the time? 9:40. Okay, so now this is the fourth chapter, and there is an extension of fourth chapter, is fifth chapter. We'll skip some of the shlok, but I'm just giving the essence. So we'll go to fifth chapter, which is the extension of this. And this chapter is called Jnana Karma Sanyas Yoga. So there are two terms, Karma Yoga and Karma Sanyas. Now Bhagavan is introducing a term called Sanyas. And typically when we hear a word Sanyas, a picture came in my mind. There is a person with saffron robe. It is sannyasi. So the word sannyasi means samnyas. the one who has put down things, or who has given up things in a very orderly manner, and that is a sannyasi. So Arjuna has asked, if can I opt that path sannyas? So that he wanted to skip the war. He said, if I can take sannyas, sannyas means Gyan Yogi. So Bhagavan says in the fifth chapter, when Arjun starts fifth chapter, he has the same question which he asked in the third chapter, that if Gyan is better, then why should I do karma? Here he is asking again, can I do for sannyas? Karma sannyas means leaving the karma, and karma yoga means doing the karma in simple terms. So he said, if I can leave the karma and just go away, right? Bhagavan says, hold on. What a wonderful teacher, right? As a teacher, if we find such kind of teacher, then the life is all set. So Bhagavan says, hold on, I'll tell you what is your problem. So we'll skip fun. So let's read. Okay, so third slok of fifth chapter, where Arjun's question is that, what is the difference between karma yoga? So I can take karma sannyas, that's okay. Sannyasi is better, you are saying, everybody say sannyasi is better. So Bhagavan is giving answer in third slok of fifth chapter. What he is saying, Gyeya nitya sannyasi yona deshti na kankshati nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham badnat pramuchyate. Bhagavan is saying, no. Sannyasi doesn't mean that wardrobe, the saffron robe. Look at what a wonderful definition of sannyasi here. I mean, you won't find this definition in any of the Shastra. He is saying the sannyasi is one who doesn't have dvesh and rag, who doesn't have likes and dislikes, who accepts things as it is. Nirdvand means there is no duality. Dvand means duality. Duality means likes and dislikes. And dveshti means hate, or kankshti means love. Or there is no love and hate. There is always love. There is no likes and dislikes. So Bhagavan is saying, Sukham sans badnat na pramuchyate. That person cannot be bound by the actions, because that person is sannyasi. So sannyas by ashram is different. That there is a sannyasi, fourth ashram of Hindu like lifestyle. But here Bhagavan is saying, no. The person who doesn't have likes and dislikes, who loves everyone, is a sannyasi. So Arjun, your concept of karma sannyas means I'm run away. There's no choice, run away. Karma, you have to do that. Anyway, sannyasi also does the karma. There is no sannyasi who doesn't have. Sannyasi also has to do the karma. So sannyasi also has to become a karma yogi. Sannyasi, now we know a lot of sannyasis, our sannyasis, example, they're running around behind the results. And I know that there is a shlok in Tulsi Ramayana, which Tulsidas wrote 500 years ago. And in that Tulsi Ramayana, Kagbhushunji and Garudji having discussion. So Kagbhushundi asks Garudji that what would be the definition of Kalyug 500 years ago, Tulsidas wrote. And that shlok is very true even now. He says, in Kalyug, Bahu Dam Diye Jati Ashramahi Sajavahi. Is lot of money or the resources sannyasis will spend, and they'll decorate the ashrams. That will be Kalyug. That's happening today. If you look at the ashrams, they're like 5-star hotels. And so Bhagavan is saying, what the sannyasi is doing, right? You are a better sannyasi when you. So that's what Bhagavan. Sannyasi is not by the robe. Sannyasi is by the attitude. And some of you know our Ashok Singhal was called sannyasi by many, even sannyasis. They say he's a sannyasi. Sannyasi is an aptitude. Na dveshti na kankshati, who doesn't hate anyone, who do have no likes and dislikes. That is sannyasi. So that's what. So Arjun Bhagavan said, don't worry about karma sannyas. Just do the karma. Sannyasi also has to do the karma. So that's what. And then we'll just take two more shlok of fifth chapter. So that shlok number 14th and 15th of fifth chapter. Very, very profound and very, very clear message Bhagavan is giving here. 14th and 15th shlok. In this shlok, all of us have confusion, including our acharyas and religious teachers that do this will happen. और कर्म किए जा फल की चिंता मत करे, इंसान जैसे कर्म करेगा वैसे भगवत फल देगा भगवान। वो ऑल द इंडियन, इफ यू गो टू इंडिया, ऑल द शॉप्स हैव रिटन दैट, जैसे कर्म करेगा। भगवान ने नेवर सेड इन द भगवत गीता कि आई विल गिव द फल। He said, it doesn't belong to me. The karma belongs to you. The karta, you are the karta. And karma phal, whatever, as you sow, so you reap. I am not in the picture. I am here to guide you how to do the karma. So these 14 and 14 shlokas are very powerful. And we'll just read. We have 10 more minutes. So Bhagavan says 14 shlok, na kartatvam na karmani lokasya sajati prabhu na karma phal sanyogam svabhavastu pravartate. You can read detail later. And 15 shlok Bhagavan says nadatte kaschachit papam na chaiva sukritam vibhu ajnanen avratem jnanam ten muyyanti jantavo. Bhagavan is saying here that I don't partake in anyone's that whole the karma cycle of karma. I don't take part in. If you get your result, it is your result. I don't take it. And Bhagavan says, "Na karma," and I am not even the agent of joining your karma and karma phal. Whatever result you get, it is you. I am not agent in helping you into that. You do that, and it's a disclaimer Bhagavan is giving. So, like we do puja and all those things, sankalp. We should read this disclaimer before that sankalp. Bhagavan is saying it's all your sankalp. It's not, I am not playing in this role. And I say, nadatte kaschit papam. Neither I take somebody's pap or punya. This is all yours. You don't think that you will do 10 Tirth Yatra or 12 Jyotirling darshan, so Shivji will be happy. Yeah, Shivji will be happy. Shivji is always happy. Where is this concept of that if you do Bara Jyotirlinga, Shivji will be happy? No, Shivji is always, by nature, Shiv is happy. Shivji's happiness doesn't depend on our Abhishek. It is your Abhishek. Shivji has nothing to do with our. That's what Bhagavan is saying here. So Bhagavan is saying, disclaimer, I don't take part in your whole karma and karma phal. I am the guide. Like Surya, example, like Surya is coming out, the entire vegetation, everything is working. The Surya is not. You can do murder in sunlight. You can do, like we saw a lot of things that are happening in USA last week. 3 murdered happened during the daylight in USA. Sur is just not taking part. I mean, you can do a sadhana in sunlight. You can do any wrong thing in sunlight. Sunlight doesn't. Sunlight says it is you responsible. I am available to guide you. You take, karma is yours, kartapan is yours, and karma phal is yours. But the whole teaching is here, karma yoga. If we have that awareness that I am also like sun, same, actually we are same pure. The moment I realize, that's why we have Surya Upasana. The purpose of Surya Upasana is not to give thanks to Surya Bhagwan. I have to be, there is a bhajan in, very famous bhajan in Hindi. मेरे रोम रोम में बसने वाले राम जगत के स्वामी वो अंतर्यामी मैं तुझसे क्या मांगू. And the next line says, I don't want to ask anything because you know everything, Bhagwan. And the next line says, भेद तेरा कोई क्या पहचाने जो तुझसा हो वो तुझे जाने. To know Ram, you have to become Ram. And that's why we say if you can define Satya, right? But to know Satya, you have to practice Satya. I have to experience the truth. Then I know, oh, this is truth. Otherwise, definition of truth anybody can give. The thing which doesn't change in 3 periods of time is truth. There's a dictionary definition. But have I practiced truth in my life? Then I say, this is truth. That is experiential. So that's what Bhagavan is saying. Don't get confusion that you do 10th Tirth Yatra or do then many jap and puja. You will please Bhagavan. There is a statement, if you do, Bhagavan is always by nature Satchidanand. Our Mala jap is not going to, Bhagavan is anyway happy. My Mala jap, that's what Bhagavan is saying, these 2 shlokas. He's saying, this confusion you should not have. It is all because for you. I am the guide. I help you to achieve that. So that 14th and 15th shloka are pretty powerful. And then there are multiple shlokas. We have to skip a little bit. We'll just have to summarize this chapter. Like Karma Yoga will be over. Next time we'll go to Dhyana Yoga, 6th chapter. But 4th, 5th. So very quickly I'll summarize this third, fourth, and fifth, which is Karma Yoga. This is a popular term. So three things here: Karta, Karma, action; Karta, the doership; and the Karma Phal, the result. The problem here is not just the doer is all, as is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Karma will always be there. That means there will be a doer. Then there will be a result also. This is inevitable. This is the nature of Prakriti. So where is the problem? Problem is that ownership of doership, the ahankar. I am the karta. And that's the problem. One says just be an agent of whatever your prarabdha, then your good thing. Just keep doing good. But problem is that I am doing. So a very quick story, and then we'll touch the last point. There was a sculptor who used to make the murtis, and he was so good that if he makes like four murtis, you cannot make the difference which is the, suppose you are standing, he can make you stand and make your murti, and then you cannot make the difference from distance that who is the real person and who is the murti. And he was so good, and he was very popular and very accomplished. So anyway, so somebody said he's so good that you cannot make the difference. So there was a challenge given to him that can you make your own murti and like 10 of them. He said, yeah, I'll make it. And then he made it. And he said, I'll be standing in one of those 10, but you cannot make the difference. So this Raja, the whatever king wanted to prize him, he said, yeah, he is so good, so I'm sure it's like that. So he went there, and there are 10 of them. One was the real one himself, and there are 9 of them. And the Raja says, "Oh, very difficult to say." So his Birbal was like kind of mantri. He said, no, I tell you, one technique is there. You can find out which one is real and other 9 are moved. He said, no, it's not possible. Come with me. And the Raja said, look, so he said, okay, that's fine. I'll do that. I'll find out who's the real one. And then he went, he said, wow, and he started praising, wow, wonderful, what art, what, and he kept praising, and he said, oh, but there's one fault is here. And the moment he said there's one fault, the real one has that expression changed. He said, you come out. And the Raja said, how did you find it? He said, the ahankar. He could change everything, but he couldn't change his ahankar. The rest of the murti won't have ahankar. This guy has the ahankar. So ahankar is that when you praise or you criticize, expression changes. And that is kartapan. That is the problem. And that's the gist of Karma Yoga. If you take out that ahankar, that kartapan, karta will be there, doer will be there, doership, the ownership, then there is no problem. Then karma is, and that karma become lok sangra. So we'll end here in 5 minutes. So best definition of karma yoga given by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. And it's not too far. We know a lot of rishis have given. We don't know, but Bal Gangadhar Tilak, we all know is not too. So he gave a definition. Karma yoga is a practice or a lifestyle. I just modified in my way, or a way of living, which is rooted in awareness, jnana. So karma has to be rooted in jnana. That's why second chapter Bhagavan told jnana. You need to know that the person who is doing karma is adequate. The person who is doing is divine by it. I don't lack anything. I'm doing karma for a reason. There is a cycle. That's why Bhagavan when do karma, we say Leela. Ram Leela, Krishna Leela. We all have to do the Leela. Because we don't know the outcome and we don't know the reason we are doing it. Let's play the Leela. That's why they say that the good actor is one when who or she is on stage, play the role the best possible. Amitabh Bachchan will play the role of a beggar or any other actor. And you'll see how is he or she is a beggar or whatever role they're playing. But when you come out, you're the same person. It's the role play, that's Leela. So Bhagavan is saying it's a way of living, which is rooted in awareness. So the karma yoga is a sadhan or practice or way of living nurtured by bhakti. That is the key here. Our problem is that bhakti means that humility. Ahankar and bhakti cannot stay together. We all say that I am a very devoted person or no. Bhagavan says, our Shastra says, ego and bhakti cannot. So one way is that's the reason we have all bhajan, and they keep doing it. Slowly, it melts the ego. It's like that we take the butter out of refrigerator, it's frozen butter. You have to give the heat to that butter, put in the microwave or put in the oven, and in few minutes butter will melt. That heat, that is tapas, that is sadhan, that is bhajan. Bhajan is not just beating the drum or beating majira. That's fine. I mean, there's an instrument, but that's not bhajan. Bhajan is the bhav. That bhav melts the ego. That's why we say do bhajan again and again. Or sadhan, anything, bhajan or reading, that melts the ahankar. So that's the definition. Karma yoga is a sadhan or practice or lifestyle or way of living which is rooted in awareness, which is gyan. That we need to know who we are. Who am I is very important. And nurtured by the bhakti. Bhakti means devotion. And that's what his call was, right? That and if you look at in definition of freedom movement, he says first thing is your adhikar, self-awareness. You know you want to be freedom. We don't want Britishers. We want freedom. So that is the awareness. Then in the middle is a Desh Bhakti. And then you do Ganesh Puja. That is karma. Then that is freedom movement. What a wonderful way he used the Bhagavad Gita in his life. And actually the whole Ganesh Utsav which we are celebrating all over the world these days, it is his idea, but he brought that movement. Movement is karma. So karma, which is supported by bhakti and jnana awareness. That is karma yoga. So karma yoga is not alone. A lot of people say that, oh, I am a karma yogi. I don't worry about, I am not reading Brahman, Bhagavad Gita. I'm just karma yogi. No. Bhagwan in the entire Bhagavad Gita never separated these three things. They are all together. Gyan, bhakti and karma. There is no separation. Nobody can say, I am just a Gyan yoga. They say, oh, I believe in Gyan yoga of Gita. No. It is just all three are one. You can, so that's what, so awareness, bhakti, and the freedom and the karma. Then you get the freedom or anand. So with that, if you have that understanding, then you can be free of fear or insecurity. And that is the quality of a bhakt or a karma yogi or a jnani. They're the same. The quality of bhakt is who's fearless, who doesn't feel insecure, because Ram bharose. But we all say that, but we don't bharosa hai. There's no bharosa of Ram. We keep saying that. And that is the essence of Karma Yoga actually. That's what we sort like Karma and Gyan, second, third, fourth, fifth chapter. Next week we'll meet, we'll do the Dhyan. Dhyan is to assimilate the teaching. We'll see that, right? So we'll stop here with Tulsidas ji, guys. There's a doha. Tulsi bharose and Ram ke nirbhay ho ke soy. I'll translate in English. तुलसी भरोसे राम के निर्भय हो के सोए होनी तो हो के रहे अनहोनी ना होए. तुलसीदास जी कह रहे हैं जो when you are depending on Ram, Arjun says शिष्यस्ते हम शाधिमाम ताम प्रपन्नम. I surrender to you. तुलसीदास जी कह रहे हैं when you surrender to भगवान, then Bhagwan is, there is a law working. Unhoni ho, I don't know the result. Honi unhoni means like unexpected result. So when I don't know the result, one thing I can do, I can at least keep the dhyan of Bhagwan Ram. Nirbhay means, Nirbhay in the sense, the peace of mind. So Tulsidas ji say कि तुलसी भरोसे राम के निर्भय. Nirbhay means shanti. Sona is not saying sleeping. He's saying the peace of mind. So Tulsi, Ram का भरोसा है, you have peace of mind. Unhoni honi nahi honi ho so hoy. The one which is not going to happen is not going to happen. Which is going to happen is going to happen. Let me just continue to do Ram Kaj. And that we give a lot of example. And that is Karma Yoga. So we'll stop here. And next week we'll meet. We'll talk about sixth chapter, which is Dhyan Yoga. How to assimilate this, right? Okay. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Boli Krishna Kanaya Lal Ki Jai. Hari Om. So thanks for joining. We'll see you next week with Dhyan Yoga. Hari Om. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri
धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद. धन्यवाद.
संजय जी एक क्वेश्चन पूछूं?
Yeah, sure.
नहीं, आपने जैसे समझाया लाइक doer, calm, and the results. And everything, अगर जो दानव इंसान होते हैं, अगर वो भी यही माइंड सेट रखे करते हैं कि जो हम बुरा काम कर रहे हैं वो भी भगवान के काम, ब्रह्म कर्म है, तो फिर वो डिफरेंस कैसे होता है कि
नहीं तो वो बोल रहे हैं ना, पर कर थोड़ी रहे हैं।
मतलब अगर वो ये सोच के करते हैं कि जो हम गलत कर रहे हैं वो भी ब्रह्म परम।
तो सी उनका रिजल्ट ऑल्सो इज नॉट फिक्स्ड।
ओके।
नो, रावण, वॉट एवर रावण वॉन्टेड डिडंट हैपन, राइट? वॉट एवर सद्दाम हुसैन वॉन्टेड डिडंट हैपन. So even he used to say this is going to be the mother of all the wars. I am going to rule the world, right? And that time there was a movie going on, Nostradamus, that every Saddam Hussein is the one who's going to lead the world. Because he was over in 9 months, gone from this earth. So nobody can guarantee even the. So then a Karma Yoga says कि when you cannot guarantee, one thing is guaranteed. भगवान का नाम तो guarantee is there. Take it. We saw the Narsimha movie. We saw that. Prahlad had told to his father, कि when you don't know, just take Vishnu's name, right? Ultimately, Prahlad won, right? So it is like that. So all these things will keep happening, but the peace of mind, all these people, evil people who are there, they don't have peace of mind. That's the reason we see all these crimes happening these days, because of this is unrest. And this world, there is a saying like, an eye for an eye will end up in making the whole world blind. That's what happening. So that, and yesterday actually, good point. I mean, I'm not yesterday there was a Mandir conference in Dallas. I was there, and I was giving the closing thought. Typically, I do. So that's what I said, and I always say that. My Guruji Dayanand Saraswati ji used to say that, and I personally I got this teaching from him. We have a diamond to offer to the world, Hindus. But the problem is that one problem is the Hindus don't know we have diamond. And the second problem is we are not able to preserve that diamond. And the third problem, we are not able to polish the diamond. When the time will come and the world will look at you, what are you going to offer? Hindus have dual responsibility. Bring the peace and give the lifestyle which is peaceful. And it will happen. I personally am very confident that this world will look for something, maybe 500 years now. Hindus will offer that. But unless we do all this, right? So that is the essence. That this teaching, this karma yoga may make us peaceful. In spite of, Bhagavan is there is a shlok will come, and he'll say, Arjun, Mam Smara Yuddhascha. He said, keep doing the war, fight, Mam Smara, Mam Anusmara, keeping me in mind. क्या बात है? Like you keep the youth, then keeping Bhagavan in mind. That's the trick. Only Hindu thought can give us. Nobody can give this.
Sanjay ji, I have a question.
Yeah. So sorry,
So,
Lakshmana I think I was able to answer some of your part, right?
okay.
Yeah.
My question is, फिर हम आपने बोला कि माला जपने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है या तो
नहीं जपने की
चार
जरूरत है.
धाम यात्रा करने की जरूरत नहीं, but it gives the peace of mind to the people, right?
Yeah, but so Bhagavan is saying you're not doing for me, you're doing for you.
Okay.
Our Lord, I mean, I'm not saying everyone, but some of our commercial spiritual centers are saying, do this, this will happen. And Bhagavan is saying, no, this, yeah, you will get peace of mind. That you can, that's why they created Tirthasthan. Because old time, you know that, right, history, because there was you had to go out and from farming or whatever. Even you can go to a mountain, get the peace. You can go to a river, doesn't have to be Ganga. Every river is Ganga. So you
But
can,
then is that all Andhashraddha or what?
the Andhashraddha is not, somebody is injected Andhashraddha. Shraddha cannot be Andh. Shraddha is always clear.
Okay.
Somebody has confused us, and then we think there is a blindness behind Shraddha. Shraddha cannot be blind. Shraddha is pure. Shraddha is very clear. We are becoming blind. That's why we say Andhashraddha. But
तो
yeah,
जो फास्टिंग बिस्टिंग जो करते हैं कि इसके पीछे की
वो
16 सोमवार करके ये होगा या तो
नहीं, कुछ नहीं होगा.
ऐसा करके
16 सोमवार करके आपको अच्छा लगेगा.
अच्छा
शिव जी को क्या करना है? शिव जी को पार्वती जी वैसे ही खुश हैं. आपके 16 सोमवार से पार्वती जी को क्या थोड़ी कुछ होने वाला है. बट हाँ, 16 सोमवार करने से आप फिजिकल, यू गेट फिजिकल बेनिफिट, यू गेट मेंटल, यू गेट ऑल द बेनिफिट. और हम लोग like 14 chapter we got detail. सत्वगुण, it raises सत्वगुण. All these things raises सत्वगुण. तीर्थ यात्रा, मंदिर दर्शन, जो भी उपवास, सत्वगुण. रजोगुण, the problem is रजोगुण. We saw that श्लोक. भगवान asked it, Arjun asked what is the problem. He said रजोगुण is the problem. Rajogun means that more, me, my, that is Rajogun, right? As long as I'm doing fasting for me, oh, I'll get the benefit. Krishna will be happy with me, Rajogun. So if you do with that thought that it is not, I'm just doing fasting, that's it. Then Sattvagun will raise and then clarity comes. And once the clarity comes, then all these things, the confusion will go away. And that's what Bhagavan's goal here is, to clarify Arjun's doubts mind. And then he said that Yuddha will not be a problem, Arjun, for you. Otherwise, there is a problem, Yuddha, because I'm doing, I'll lose, I will, and all kind of things. So yeah, that's what Bhagavad Gita teaching is very, very handy, and I personally love it, right? I'm 100% convinced there is no, all the teaching, but in 700 shlok, there is no teaching which is, everything is in just 700 shlok. And that's the reason it is so relevant today. A lot of people read Bhagavad Gita, follow different ways, but definitely this is the best, and we are lucky to have this idea.
Thank you.
But हाँ, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, पूजा सब करते रहिए, बट it is nothing to do with that. भगवान डिस्क्लेमर 14-15 श्लोक आप कई बार पढ़िए, 5th chapter. I tell people, read 14-15 श्लोक, all the doubts will be clear. Bhagwan has nothing to do with your outcome. Bhagwan in fact, Bhagwan will make sure that even if you fail, you will be happy. That is Bhagwan. Or you succeed, you will not beat the drum. That's okay. I'm successful. So that's what Bhagwan is making sure, that you get that aptitude. That is Jnani, that is Karma Yogi. Yeah, so next we'll do Dhyan Yoga. We'll do Dhyan actually, in that practical session, yeah. 6th chapter. Dhyan.
Ji.
Okay.
Namaste.
Yeah, namaste.
Quickly, the Shloka Brahmarpanam and Purnamada, they sound to me now very similar in their meaning, right?
Which
How
Purnamada?
everything is Brahma and everything is Shunya, right?
No, usme, see, in Purnamada, Purnamidam, it's an attribute of Brahman we are talking about. Here we are talking about an action towards Brahman. It's like that. So that, I mean, we use, that's the reason we use those in different context. Purnamada will say when we complete something, study. Basically study, सब study से संबंधित है. तो we are saying कि study किसके बारे में करी, उस ब्रह्मन के बारे में, कि जो पहले भी पूर्ण था, आगे भी पूर्ण है. तो nothing my study will add to something, and that is actually me. I was complete earlier also. This study is not going to add anything. It's going to just help me discover that, oh, I am complete. It's like that. So that's why we say Purnamada Purnamidam. This is also complete, that is also complete. And you cannot take anything out of complete. So that's why we say after this study or puja. And this Brahmarpanam is in the context of Karma Yoga, right? When you're doing something. Yeah.
Okay.
ठीक है, that's good. चलिए, धन्यवाद for joining.
Jai Shri Krishna.
हरि ओम, जय श्री कृष्ण.
जय श्री कृष्ण.
जय श्री कृष्ण.